All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to this executive briefing. Today, we're unpacking a really ambitious framework from the Stellarium Foundation. We're talking about leveraging AI to quite literally engineer global prosperity. We're going to look at how they plan to transition humanity into an era of total abundance using a very specific engine known as the Water Company product. So let's walk through this roadmap, what they enthusiastically call the elevation to Eden, and uncover the actual mechanics making this possible. Here is our roadmap for today. We're moving purposefully from the big macroeconomic vision all the way down to the micro-execution of corporate AI systems. We'll hit 1. The elevation to Eden. 2. Strategic wealth activism. 3. The Water Company engine. 4. Autonomous AI workforces. 5. Engineering systemic efficiency. And 6. The path to prosperity. Starting off with Part 1, the elevation to Eden, a post-scarcity vision. Take a look at this. Imagine a systemic threshold that's just incredibly dynamic and interconnected, kind of like a massive puzzle coming together. Now, the ancient myth of Eden isn't being used here in a religious sense at all. It's a really compelling metaphor for a post-scarcity reality. It represents a tipping point where advanced tech, specifically AI and robotics, completely eliminates material scarcity and mundane toil. It's a world where human effort shifts away from just grinding to survive right into unhindered creativity. But to be clear, this elevation to Eden isn't some passive sit-around-on-the-clouds utopian dream. It's the active, deliberate construction of a world where machines do the heavy lifting. The whole idea is that by automating the routine stuff and ending basic material suffering, humans are suddenly freed up to be co-creators. In this setup, work becomes a verb of absolute joy and purpose, rather than just an obligation you have to do to pay the bills. Which brings us to Part 2. Strategic wealth activism, the operational framework. There's this really striking quote grounding their whole philosophy, and it hits the nail on the head. Wealth is the antidote to poverty, the foundation of security, and the enabler of every higher pursuit. I love that, because it perfectly captures why aggressive wealth creation isn't seen here as some individual greedy pursuit. It's actually positioned as a systemic cure. A truly wealthy society is one where people aren't just struggling to survive, they're fully thriving. So the crucial takeaway here is that wealth activism applies ruthless corporate-style optimization tactics to entire economies. It means treating nations and industries exactly like you treat a Fortune 500 company. By identifying those structural bottlenecks and leveraging advanced AI, the ultimate goal is to maximize productivity and literally engineer universal abundance. They actually view this as real justice activism, solving poverty through pure engineered efficiency. Moving right along to Part 3, the Water Company engine, the pivot to execution. Okay, think of the Water Company product as a totally paradigm-shifting platform. It's designed to become as ubiquitous and foundational to the future of enterprise as Microsoft Excel has been to modern business. But, instead of just managing cells in a spreadsheet, the Water Company is built to design, deploy, and manage entire autonomous AI workforces. It's the literal software engine they intend to use to power this whole new era of prosperity. Part 4. Autonomous AI workforces, redefining corporate structure. We are looking at a night and day shift away from traditional corporate structures. That old model? It's heavily reliant on human labor, weighed down by massive overhead and notoriously slow to scale up. The Water Company model replaces that entirely. We're talking specialized autonomous AI agents operating in a defined digital hierarchy. Think AI CEOs, analysts, engineers, and marketers, all executing their specialized tasks simultaneously with absolutely superhuman precision. If you're a business leader, this interaction is just beautifully streamlined. You design your company's structure right there on the platform. Then you literally hire specialized AI agents who have completely mastered their domains. You delegate the tasks, hand over the broader vision, and then you just let the autonomous AI teams execute. You're basically architecting an entire digital workforce from the top down, which frees up your actual human talent for higher order problem solving. Part 5. Engineering systemic efficiency. Let's talk about the ROI. So what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, how about a staggering 40% cost reduction? The source uses the example of an AI legal analyst on the platform that's capable of reviewing 500 contracts in a single day. 500 contracts. That's a volume of work that would take a traditional human legal team an entire week. It drastically cuts operational costs and completely accelerates deal flow. And this scales incredibly well across every industry. Take healthcare, for example.
An AI diagnostic agent deployed through this model is projected to process patient data 15 times faster than a human nurse. To put that into perspective, that isn't just about cutting admin overhead. That drastically cuts wait times and quite literally saves lives by removing the friction of human bottlenecks. Now, these localized efficiencies are explicitly engineered to scale massively. By 2030, the aim is to power 2 million businesses globally with the water company, reach 200 million consumers, drive a massive 15% global productivity leap, and ultimately create $1 trillion in new economic value. This right here is the math. This is exactly how they plan to build their way to that post-scarcity Eden we were talking about earlier. And finally, part 6, the path to prosperity, structural incentive engineering. Deploying a tool this powerful requires something they call structural incentive engineering. It's basically the exact science of meticulously aligning rewards and signals so that everybody wins. The core argument here is that autonomous AI systems absolutely must be mathematically and structurally aligned to generate shared wealth, rather than just isolated corporate profits. Without that alignment, the tech could just make inequality worse. But with it, they argue it creates genuine universal prosperity. So, as we wrap up this explainer on the Stellarium Foundation's framework and the water company product, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. In a world that is pivoting this incredibly fast toward autonomous labor and AI-driven economies, what role are you going to play? Are you ready to architect the future of prosperity? Thanks so much for joining me on this executive briefing. Keep learning and keep questioning. Catch you next time.